All right, in this section of this part of the graphical displays for univariate data, I want to very specifically look at stem and leaf displays. Now, stem and leaf display, quite honestly, is not as important as it had been years ago. Back when I was taking this level of class, whenever we did a histogram, we really need to start with, or we very commonly did, a stem and leaf display because there wasn't such thing as the power of the calculator that we're using now back then. I mean, that little TI-8384 calculator has more power in it than the mainframe computers did back in my day, so to speak. But they are still useful. Stem and leaf displays definitely have a use. So let's take a look at it real quick. I'm going to use the same data as I did before. The exact same data as we just did in the previous example where I did a histogram. And I'm going to set this up as a stem and leaf. Now here's the idea. I'm going to just do a vertical bar here. Oops, I'm going to stay with black ink. I keep forgetting that. Now look at my data. I start at 40s and go to the 90s. So I'm going to go over here on the left. These are my stems. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to put a 10 in. I'm not going to use a 10 because the 10 will make reference to 100. 4 is my 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and 100 if I had it. All right, 62, my first data value. I'm going to go to my 60s, and to the right, I'm going to put in a leaf, which is a 2. So now this is saying I have a 62 in my data. 73, go to the 70s and put in a 3. 99, go to my 90s and put in a 9. So just look at the stem and leaf displays so far. I know my data consists of at least a 62, a 73, and a 99. Now here's a 93. Now when I do this, when I keep adding values to it, I'm going to try to, at least in my mind, I'm going to try to pretend like there's these nice columns I'm trying to stay in. I'll draw just a couple of them out. I want to stay within these columns and get things lined up. That'll make sense why in just a moment. Okay, what's my next value? It is a 91, so I'll put a 1 here. An 80, go to my 8s, and there's my 80. Again, I have a 99, a 93, a 91, an 80, 73, and so forth. 87, 84. Okay, I'm going to kill these columns now. You get the idea. When you do this, you want to try to line them up so you see columns there. See an 85, an 86, a 96, a 91, a 97, a 70, a 94, a 72, 44, 79, 72, and a 65. Okay, there's my stem and leaf. I can see that I had a 91, actually two 91s, a 97, a 94. I can see all my data values in here. Now, typically when we do a stem and leaf display, we normally do an ordered stem and leaf display. An ordered stem and leaf display means I'm going to order all these. Well, there's nothing to order in the 40s. 62, 65, that's good. But here's a problem. This should say 0, 2, 2, 3, 9. So I'm going to erase this and put it in order. So I have my 70 followed by my 72, the other 72, 73, and 79. See, this is a problem. This should be 0, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm going to erase this and put it in 0, 4, 5, 6, 7. See, now my values are actually in order. And this needs to be, let's see, 1, 1, 3, 4. 1, 1, 3, 4, 6, 7, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, got them all. So I'm going to erase these and put these in order. 1, 1, 3, 4, 6, 7, 9. Now it's ordered. When I look at this, I can see, okay, here are my D's, and right away I can see I had one low D, one middle D. Here are my C's, my 70s, and I can see most of them are kind of on the low end with one right next to a B. There's more information. There's much more information than what I could possibly get from the histogram. However, watch this. This is kind of cool. If I do this, I'm going to put a box around all these values. There we go. Turn your head sideways. It's a poor man's histogram. That's a histogram we just got done doing in the previous example. So the stem and leaf display is actually a numerical type of histogram. Look at it. It's the same thing that we did. If we're going to actually present a stem and leaf, we want to title it like usual. This is, whoops, it was calculus, wasn't it? Is the calculus exam, what was it, exam 2 or something like that? Calc 1, exam 2, something like that. Scores. So now we know what this stem and leaf is actually doing. Now we can do this on the TI-83. So let's step over to the calculator and let the calculator do this for us. This is actually found in a program. So hit the PRGM key, and you get a list of all the program that's in your calculator. If you don't have them, get a hold of your instructor. You can download them from the website, or an instructor will help you find them. Let me see. Let me adjust that a little bit. There we go. The instructor will help get them to you, maybe transfer them directly from their calculator to yours or what have you. But these programs should be available to you, or may be available to you for the course. I'm going to head down here and see, looking for, where is it? There it is, stem plot. Stem plot's the name of the program. So if I select it, it says PRGM stem plot. Hit enter. And that says run the program. Number of data sets, 1 or 2. This is kind of cool. If I had perhaps a day class and a night class, it would actually allow me to do back-to-back stem plots. It would put the leaves from one class to the right, the leaves from the other class to the left, and I can immediately compare what's going on there. So I'm only working with 1 here, so I'm going to select 1, hit enter. Stem power. This is a little bit tricky. Stem power, I'm dealing with tens. They're 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, they're tens, right? So that's 10 to the first. If that 4 was actually 400 and the 5 was actually 500, well, hundreds is 10 squared. 10 squared is 100, right? So stem power would be 2. So I'm going to put 1 in here because that's 10 to the first. And now it says, all right, what data list? I'm in L1, so second 1. Then kick back, and there she goes. Let's zoom in on this just a little bit. See what's going on. There you go. Now, this is kind of cool, but right away there's limitation. If I have a bunch of data and it was wider than the screen, it would scroll off and I have no way of seeing it. This is a calculator. It's not a Pentium-based computer or something. So it does not have all the strengths or the capabilities of a computer. If I had many classes, it would scroll off to the bottom and I'd miss them there. The stem and leaf for the calculator works very well if you have small integer valued data sets. When we start getting into values, integer or non-integer values, it can be a little bit messy to get to play with a stem and leaf. You have to start rounding, and it's just not that good of an idea. So my personal recommendation is stem and leaves work very well if I'm particularly working with integer valued data. On a scale of like 0 to 100. That works very well in that case. Okay, that's enough for the calculator there. In the next section, the next video, we're going to talk briefly about the different shapes of distributions, when it is and is not appropriate to even talk about shapes of